Welcome to Burn the Ship, the podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to go all in and connects them with professionals that can help them do it. Today we have Teddy Mathis, who is going to tell us his story and what he learned all about starting multiple businesses that are in different fields.
Very different. Very, very different.
So tell me a little bit about, I know you're a realtor now, so how did you get there? What did you do to get you there?
Well, in the real estate business, there is no wealthy person that you can read about or in any portfolio that does not have real estate interest. Now, my background, we might cover that if you want or not, but I never thought that I could do that. But as I got older, I knew how important that would be, and so I went to being an agent and an investor.
Okay. And what led you to that? What were you doing prior to real estate?
Well, I'm a Desert Storm vet of the U.S. Army, and when I got out of the Army, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was only 21 years old when I got out of the Army, and went and worked some jobs, and quite frankly, I hated it.
Hated working for other people.
I do not like people telling me what to do. I don't. I don't know. It just didn't seem right for me. And at 22 years old, I started my first business. Failed miserably. Then I went through a series of trying different things. I grew up in western North Carolina in a very small town. And in 1995, I said, you know what, if I'm going to make it, I got to get out of here. And so I uprooted and I moved here to Metro Atlanta. And I was going to come down here and be a financial coach. Now, I don't know why I thought I qualified to do that, because my family, we grew up very, very, very poor. And I was going to be a financial planner, blah, 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 and that failed miserably, as I said before. And I went through a series of starting businesses, and then landed on one in 1998. I built it to be a multi-million-dollar business. Ended up selling that off in 2017, and that's when I started my real estate career.
Okay, and what was that business that you sold in 2017?
It was a landscaping company. It was predominantly chemical spray.
Okay.
Where I controlled weeds and helped grass grow and be pretty and that kind of thing.
Okay. And what made you want to start a landscaping business?
Honestly, it's the artist side of me.
Yeah.
I have a artistic kind of mind. But I don't have artistic talent, and I can't draw. I can't do any of that. I can sing a little bit. I was a singer in a band for years, and that was about the only small talent that I had. But in landscaping, I could make things look good, nice.
Yeah, make things pretty.
And yes, actually yes, and. That kind of spawned off into something I never thought it would turn into.
Well, that's awesome. And what made you want to jump and start real estate after doing landscaping for so long?
Again, I knew from a child. I mean, I felt that there was something that I wanted to do. I grew up very, very poor. I mean, like really poor. But I had a dream in me. And that's something as an entrepreneur, if you don't have a dream, but we all do when we're young.
Right.
It's just some let it die, or they don't feel they can accomplish or whatever. And I went through that, no doubt about it. I thought, well, who am I to start a business, or who am I? But I knew I didn't want to be poor, I
Yeah.
guess is the best way to put it. And again, I worked some jobs. I got laid off, called downsizing in 1994. And I said, well, I don't like somebody having the ability to walk in and say, effective immediately, you no longer have a source of income. And I said, well, if that's the case, then I'm just going to go ahead and start a business.
Right. Yeah.
And
That's scary.
I'll see what I can do on my own.
Well, that's awesome. And so you've been doing real estate since 2017. And what are some things that you were doing when you were starting real estate that you wish you did differently? Like, what are some good things that went well and worked great? And what are some things that you wish you didn't do that didn't work so good?
Well, probably the biggest thing that was different for me, and it's still difficult to this day, honestly. In real estate, people are buying me. I am the representative to help you in one of the largest investments you'll ever make in your life.
Right.
And it was easy for me to know how to sell a product, or my product, as in the landscaping world, and I owned a fencing/decking company. I was selling a actual product.
Yeah.
When I had to start, people ask me still to this day, what makes you special? Why would I use you? And I never had that skill. I was like, I don't know,
Because I'm
kind
me.
of thing. I'm me, and that was something I wish I still am developing that now. I wish I knew better how to market that.
Yeah. Okay. So what is your answer when somebody asks you that?
Well, honestly, at first I still go, oh, I don't know, because the fact is there are a lot of real estate agents. It's a very competitive business. And honestly, there are a lot of good ones. I would say, not to be overly critical, out of all real estate agents, about 30% of us are what I would call good agents.
Okay.
70% are what I call real estate salespeople. And that's not what a real estate agent is.
Okay.
I get paid based on whether you buy or sell your home. But an agent, by definition, is one who represents another's best interest in a given thing.
Right.
And I think for me, my background, one, I have owned a business since I was 22 years old. I've spent thousands of hours in classrooms. I've got tens of thousands of hours of experience in negotiating deals, project management, and now I'm 52 years old, so I'm 30 years entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So if I'm representing you in your investments, in this way, I can do it wisely. I can guide people who has no idea of how they can create wealth. If you are living, we all got to live somewhere, right? And I can guide you through that, of how, if I could show you today how to leverage where you live, and you can live there for free and profit from it, that's a good deal.
Yeah. I agree.
And I do know how to do that. So what separates me very simply is I love the American dream, and I love everything America is. It's that simple. I was very proud to serve this country. I am very proud to be a wartime vet. I saw stuff at a very young age that I do not wish on anybody, but the American way of life and dream and everything that it has to offer is the best thing that's ever been on this planet. And I was willing to fight for that.
Yeah.
And the simple fact is that I'll fight for you. I understand you have a child, and what a great thing it is to own your own place.
Yeah.
I grew up poor. We never owned a home. So I get a lot of joy out of that, but also, again, 30 years of experience of being in business, and I probably have the equivalent of a master's degree in business. And so to be able to help everyday people accomplish their goals, their dreams, and in turn I accomplish mine. And that's a true thing of success. If you help people get what they want enough, you're going to get everything that you want.
Yeah.
So I know I gave you the long answer.
That's
there.
okay.
I apologize.
That's okay. So now tell me, for other people that are thinking about getting into real estate, what is like something that they can do that would make it easier for them getting started that maybe you wish you did or didn't do, or maybe you did do?
Well, as far as being an agent, because the real estate world is a huge thing. There's so many opportunities when it comes to that.
Yeah.
The real estate agent side of it is pretty doggone tough. It is highly competitive. So if you're going that route, it's not as easy as the good agents make it look. And it's because everybody gets into this. Out of the people who get into this, the reason I said a while ago about 70% are, they just think, hey, we go out here and we show people houses and we maybe write up a little paperwork and we make all this money. My God, it is so much more than that.
It's not that easy.
I wish it was that easy. The reality is I probably would do something else other than an agent. There's many other different ways to produce income, but to answer your question, you better be willing to work hard.
Yeah.
You better be able to work smart. As I know your profession is sales in general. Sales is a tough gig.
Yeah.
If it was easy, everyone would do it.
I know that's right.
And in any type of sales, the failure rate is about 95%.
I believe it.
And so, if you're gonna get in the real estate game, you always have to be learning. But this isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there's been many times since 2017 that I go, is this for me?
Right.
Right. But is real estate a good gig? You bet. Because like I said, there's no wealthy person that I know that does not have real estate in their gig.
Yeah.
But don't just jump in and think you're going to make all this money and it's going to be all this easy, because it is a lot of hard work.
Yeah. Sales in general is difficult, and it's not something you can just jump in and in 6 months think you're going to be rich.
No.
I've been doing merchant services for 2 years now, and I'm just now getting that pipeline of people that I can reach out to that reach out to me. And it took 2 years, and it's hard because you don't make much money until you start getting those sales.
Well, salespeople are basically self-employed.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're employed with a company or whatever. Now, real estate agents are truly self-employed. We have to be backed by a broker, but that's for legal purposes.
Yeah.
That's the way the law's written. But all salespeople are self-employed. I don't know of any business that you jump into that, it's not going to take you somewhere. It's going to take you somewhere between 2 and 5 years.
Yeah.
Before you ever start to profit, before you set your systems up, you have everything in place for that business to be successful.
Yeah.
But again, I owned a business for 25 years before that. And business owners / salespeople, everybody looks at us once we're successful and goes, "Oh, I want to do what you do."
You're going to have to work real hard.
I don't know that you would want to do what I have done, because typically, there's no such thing as 20 hours, 30 hours, 40 hours worth of work.
Yeah.
And you get a paycheck. I have worked 60 to 100 hours in a week and lost money. So I did it and had to pay for the right to do it.
Right.
It's if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it.
Yeah.
And the reality to it is only about 2% of our country owns businesses, and only about half of those ever become successful. So
Wow.
that's the statistics of it.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So, and I can tell you from 30 years of experience, it is that. It is that tough. It'll take everything you got, some that you don't got. You're going to lay many nights in bed worrying. Where's my next meal coming from?
Right.
You're a salesperson with a child. It scares the poo out of you.
Yeah.
That how am I going to pay these bills? How am I going to put the next meal on the table?
Right.
And if you're not ready for that, you better go get a job.
Yeah, that pays you
Because
without
it's a
commission.
whole lot better, at times.
I agree. Well, it sounds like you are very dedicated to what you do and you love it, and it's going really well for you now, right?
A business has its ups and downs.
Yeah.
I tell everybody it's especially in real estate, there's a lot I can't control. I can't control whether our federal government raises the interest rates.
Yeah.
I can't control. Right now, there's 3 big entities in this country that has went around all of the metro areas in the country, and by 2030, their goal is to buy every private home in America.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So hopefully Congress is right now looking at that, and hopefully they will pass some legislation to stop that.
Yeah.
But these companies are capable of doing it. They're worth many, many, many billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And so far in Metro Atlanta, they've bought 71,000 homes.
Oh my goodness.
And they're turning them into rentals, and that's not a good thing. So there's stuff like that I can't control.
Yeah.
And in turn, last year was an interesting year.
Yeah.
But all businesses have their ups and downs. So
Yeah.
I just weathered the storm and keep fighting.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you are so positive about it and that you're very dedicated with it. I want to ask you, so this is Burn the Ship, and what is the first thing that comes to your mind whenever I say, what does burn the ship mean to you?
Well, I know where that comes from, is in battle, when they landed on the shores, the gentleman in charge, and I'm sorry, I don't I don't remember the exacts of the story, but what he told his men at the time is he said, burn the ships. And they were like, are you nuts? That's the only way we get back home. He said, no, we're going to take theirs. We will sail back on theirs. And all that meant is that we have no other option.
Yeah.
We are going to win. And if you don't have that, now that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
And in fact, it probably is a little bit. But the reality to it is that if you don't have a dream big enough and a why big enough that you're willing to do whatever it takes, of course, legally,
Within reason.
Within reason. But that reason is a lot crazier than you think. I've done some stuff as a business owner over the last 30 years that people go, I mean, my family would go, you have lost your mind. There's no way I would do that. But that's also how this little country boy that should have failed in his life turned out to do things that honestly I didn't even know I was capable of.
That's awesome. It was the motivation to get you there.
That's correct.
So what, if you weren't doing real estate, what would you want to do? Like if you could do anything, what would you want to do?
Man, probably, well, as an old man now, I like taking younger people, especially the people who don't have the advantages that others may. Now, again, I'm very thankful for anyone who has grown up with some advantages.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. You know, you got a head start. But
Yeah.
I like to guide. It's why I agreed to do this, is I like taking young people and saying, do you know where we live? I've traveled all over the world. Do you know how lucky we are to be Americans? But do you truly understand the opportunity you have? And then try to show them how to get it.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
That's awesome. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Teddy, for coming on today and talking with me on Burn the Ship. And I'm sure some whoever is looking to get into real estate or any of that got some good information. And now can you tell us how we will find you or how somebody can contact you if they
Sure.
want to talk with you?
The name of my company is Teddy Bear Realty. You can Google me. It's at Atlanta Communities is my brokerage. If you Google Atlanta Communities Teddy Mathis, my cell phone number. I've had the same one since 1996, probably before you were born. And that is 770-235-7711, or Teddy at tbrealty.biz.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Teddy. I really appreciate you again for coming on here and talking with me today. And I loved hearing all about that.
Well, thank you
and
for
I look
having
forward to
me.
hearing more.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.